What's up, visionaries? Welcome back to another episode here with me, Morgan Jones, your women and girls in sports advocate, enthusiast, coach, whatever you want to call me. Today, what we're going to talk about are 3 myths for life after sports. Life after sports being when you put that ball down, whether you played a solid high school career, you went to college, JUCO, all the way up to D1, or even professional sports. Arguably, why you got to where you're at is because you put in the work, you put in the time, the energy, the effort, the commitment to your passion, to what you felt like might have been your purpose. And when you step into life after sports, that slowly trickles away and you're left with somewhat of a blank canvas to say, man, where do I go from here? How do I move forward in a productive way of finding my new path, voice, and purpose in life? And so what I want to talk about again is 3 myths around life after sports, okay? So number 1 is that a lot of people feel like once you're done playing, you'll have it easy post-retirement. You're going to have it easy because you have all these skills, you have all these transferable skills that you can use to now go into your next career path. That every employer is looking for an athlete to hire and you're so desired in the workplace. That is all false. It's all pretty false, okay? Because what happens when it's all a myth, I should say, right? Because it's not easy. It's hard. The reasons that it's hard is because you've spent so much time, energy, and commitment into your sport, into the next practice, the next game, the next meal, the next check, whatever it may be, depending on where you were at and what level you got to, that you have to understand how to use those skills. Now you have to pivot all of that you learned into a completely different field. Some people are fortunate enough to be able to pivot into sports, which that's a very familiar environment. Therefore, it can enable you to be successful. But it's certainly not easy because you've stopped one thing, and oftentimes it's a very hard stop, right? You walk across the stage, you get your last trophy, you finish your championships, what have you, and then all of a sudden it stopped. And you're excited at first, but then it gets really hard to rediscover what that next thing is. So it is a myth that it's easy for athletes in retirement, and it's just going to be a breeze to be able to transfer all those skills, and you're just so desired in the marketplace. That is certainly a myth. All right. Number 2 is that you will always be successful in your second career. Like, it's just a given that you're going to be able to leverage all of these skill sets that you have in order to be successful in your next career. Your boss is going to love you because you're an athlete and whatnot. That is getting more and more not true, more and more of a myth as the marketplace is requiring different type of skill sets and different type of experience. Meaning, like, if you go to college and you get your degree in one specific thing, right? So let's say I got my degree in sports management, okay? I have to say that a lot of what I learned was not applicable to where I'm at right now. It just wasn't. So what employers now are looking at is saying, what actual hands-on experience do you have doing this job that I want you to do? Right? You have leadership skills, but can you communicate how you're able to lead a team? Can you communicate how you're able to learn and listen, right? You might be like, the skill set to do videography, photography, or whatnot, right? You need to have that skill set to be able to be successful in that role. Social media, do you know how to market, right? So, the idea that you're going to immediately be successful is a myth. It's not. You're going to come at an entry-level job, more than likely building up a skill set to then be able to hopefully be able to go down a path where you can stay with one company or you can do one specific thing, and you end up turning that skill set into a passion because you're finding creative ways to express that skill set. That is when you'll be able to find that success that you might be looking for. So that's the second myth, is saying that you'll be successful in your second career. It might be career number 4 that you get to. You might go down one path and go, that's not for me, and pivot, and then you go, boom, that's it. And that might take you a couple years to get to. All right. So be patient with yourself in this process. It's not easy and it's not linear. All right. And then myth number 3 is around retired athletes don't face mental health challenges. man, this one is really, really close to the heart, because a lot of the work that I do is around that emotional, that mental unpacking around the loss of your sport. I know you might think, a loss, that's really dramatic, like you're losing something. Well, you are losing an activity, an avenue, a vehicle, a community, a village that supported you for a very long time. It's no longer there anymore. So now, what do you do? Well, that can stir up a lot of conflict internally of maybe the career not ending how you wanted it to. Maybe you experienced some disappointment in the coaches and the teammates and the leaders and the people that were a part of your journey. Maybe you experienced an injury where that puts you out of the game, right? So you don't always end up in a situation where it was the best, right? And even if it was the best, you're still going to experience those mental health challenges. So, a lot of the times outsiders, right? People that did not play sports, they look at athletes, they look at us with this like charmed existence. Like there's never going to be anything wrong. You're not going to have any challenges. You're so resilient. You're so good at overcoming everything that comes your way. Like you're not human. Right? And so that's a lonely road at times to walk down. I know for myself, it was really challenging because everywhere I went, people would ask me, well, what are you doing now? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I don't always have the answer for that, right? Maybe I'm really trying to kind of really figure out how to now make something of myself, contribute to the world, find my new path, use my voice in new ways, and ultimately like discover my purpose. So mental health challenges will always be consistent throughout your adulthood, right? Throughout, probably a lot of you guys in your youth years as well. Like it's not anything new, but in particular, when you step away from the game, you get really excited. And then when it starts to settle in that 20-year pursuit is no longer a part of your life, it can get pretty challenging. You can fall into depression, anxiety, and whatnot. So really what's important is you finding a tribe. All right, you got to find a community to start rocking with, where you can be honest about stuff as it comes up. You can be honest about the challenges with depression, the challenges with anxiety, in that safe circle and that safe huddle, if you will, in post-athletics. That might be some teammates, that might be a therapist, that might be, a group that you join. Hey, you might hit me up and say, hey, I want some one-on-one coaching to be able to work with you consistently on my transition out of sports. But either way, just know you're not alone in that. All right. So again, the 3 myths is that, oh man, athletes after retirement, they got it easy. They either have a lot of money, they've got a lot of experience, and every employer wants them. That is a myth. That is a myth. Number 2 is going to be that they're successful in their second careers. Not necessarily. I started off as a leasing consultant, selling apartments, and then I'm now fully walking in my career, which is 8-9 years after I finished playing. So be patient with yourself. Know that there may be a couple pivots that are required before you land on that purpose. All right. And then number 3 is that you don't face mental health challenges. That is an absolute myth. As resilient as you are, as determined, and how agile you are at overcoming obstacles, you will experience mental health challenges in the transition out of sports, the life after sports. Normalize it. It's normal, all right? Find yourself a tribe, a community, reach out to trusted people that can share in your experience, okay? All right, so if you have any other questions, you guys, or you have some feedback, I want to hear, down below what's been the biggest challenge for you, whether you're a leader of athletes and you've noticed this in your athletes, or maybe you're an athlete that has found some challenges. Drop them down below, and I'll see you next time.